This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, Grand Bahama in the spotlight yesterday as two local members of parliament took the floor in the House of Assembly to give their contributions in the 2017 budget debate. Tonight, we begin with the Pine Ridge constituency. Sabrina Brown reports.
During his budget communication to Parliament, Member of Parliament for Pine Ridge, Reverend Frederick McAlpine, expressed concern that at the start of this hurricane season, many of his constituents are still struggling to pick up the pieces following Hurricane Matthew last October.
Residue of Matthew still exists in the Pine Ridge constituency. Many roofs remain unfixed, and I pray constantly for our people who suffer from just regular raindrops. The condition of some of my people's roof is atrocious and requires immediate attention. People, I'm told, under the last administration was being helped who needed no help. Persons who needed help, if they were not politically connected or favored by those in authority with the purse, they were then overlooked. Our government ought not and will not follow pursuit in doing the people's business that way.
He says efforts are being made to help those residents who have yet to receive assistance.
I've made a list with constituents' name and contact number that needed attention and assistance with their roof in the Pine Ridge constituency. The list comprised of a little over 300, less than 10% of the registered voters in my constituency. I've handed the list to our compassionate Prime Minister and copied it to the Minister of State for Grand Bahama. On behalf of my constituents and I wish to thank both of them in advance for their attention in this matter.
The Pine Ridge MP also addressed the state of the Grand Bahama Health Services, noting that the island has outgrown the Rand Memorial Hospital. He calls the facility inadequate.
I often wonder if there was some major emergency on the island, industrial or aviation, are we, that is the healthcare of Grand Bahama, able to maintain the proper service? Do we have the proper amenities and medical technological advancement to assist and assess people? I guess the answer to the rhetorical question is emphatically no. It is a sad state that the nation's second city with the second largest population in the country cannot find enough beds in the hospital to accommodate its residents.
He's also concerned about the health and safety of workers in the industrial sector.
Far too many of our people have been injured in the industry, to which sometimes the injuries are life-lasting and they are not compensated as such. Therefore, it's easy for such large companies to take advantage of our people if government, after all these years, have not protected them by way of legislation.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Well, the Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama questioning a number of projects started under the former Progressive Liberal Party's government during his contribution in the House of Assembly on Thursday. Giving a compelling first address in the House of Assembly, Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama and Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Works, Iram says he has one of the most unique constituencies in the country, adding that a number of industrial corporations are situated in the area.
There's been talk of health risks associated with residents living close to these facilities in the industrial park. It is a situation that I will monitor and address as we move forward. But it is safe to say that the complaints from those residents have not fallen on deaf ear. I only ask the Bahamian people to be patient with us as we go about solving our financial problems, restoring faith.
Lewis says as the country faces another hurricane season, many residents are still in a state of disrepair from last year's hurricane. He's disappointed that the former government borrowed millions of dollars and received large financial donations, yet very little was done to help the people of Grand Bahama with their restoration efforts.
It would appear that they were very selective in who they helped. Today, almost 9 months since the last hurricane, individuals are still staying with family members, and in some instances, homes are exposed to the elements. A lot of tarps all over, as you can see, and over the last 3 days, with the heavy rainstorm and flooding, the holes are getting worse. And persons are calling on a regular basis, crying out for help that could have been given a long time ago, based on the funds that was given.
As an architect and project manager, the MP for Central Grand Bahama says he was appalled to learn that the new junior high school being built in 8 Mile Walk is being done at twice the cost of a school built by the FNM, despite having the same prototype.
Now, I must agree that inflation and other unforeseen costs contributes to increasing costs. However, I am bewildered that the Home Rock School is costing twice as much to construct to that of Sister Mary Patricia, and we're following the prototype. In addition to this exorbitant cost, the contract is split between 2 contractors on the same site, building the same school at the same time.
And here's what he says is also disturbing.
I was informed that minor repairs cost the Bahamian public in excess of $100,000. Remedial repairs. To add insult to injury, while the people of Hunters, including very skilled and proficient contractors, were patiently waiting for work, guess what? The former administration thought it best to assign the project for these remedial repairs to a contractor outside of the island of Grand Bahama. Mr. Speaker, I say that is certainly a disgrace.
In other news, the Grand Bahama, Bimini and Keys District was the first in the nation to hold the Ministry of Education's inaugural Bahamas High School Diploma graduation ceremony for 4 schools at the Grand Bahama Resort today under the theme, Educating Students to Create Lifelong Learners. Kimberly Mullings has more.
History was made on Grand Bahama Friday as over 320 students from the public schools on the island participated in the inaugural Bahamas National High School Diploma graduation ceremony at the Grand Bahama Resort. Keynote speaker, Minister of Education, the Honorable Jeffrey Lloyd, gave the graduates some sound advice.
Think globally. The world has changed and is changing. Technology, telecommunications, and the internet make this a far different place than when you began school the other day. Number 2, get qualified. This is the beginning. Don't stop at no BA. BA means been away. Get more than a degree. Certify yourself in something. Become mobile. But go out and see the world. There are 6, 7 continents in this world. Go and visit them all, work in them all. But come back home and build your country.
Principal of Jack Hayward Senior High School, Yvonne Ward, brought remarks on behalf of the principals, admitting that initially they were apprehensive and critical about the National High School Diploma.
One thing we all agreed to was that with our education system then, there were no consistent national standards as the criteria for graduation varied from one high school to another. Also, many of our 12th graders were dropping out or leaving school without graduating, as indicated by the 50% national graduation rate. As principals, even if our internal and external examination results in August of 2017 show minimal improvement, we know that the overall graduation rate this year in our district is commendable.
Principal Ward then congratulated the graduating class of 2017 for their accomplishments, despite the increased criteria to attain and maintain the standards for the National High School Diploma.
We are well on our way to achieving our goal of a projected national graduation rate of 90% by the year 2020. The 44 or 62% from 8 Mile Rock High School, the 161 or 74% at St. George's High School.
Among those making history, a student from the deaf unit at Jack Hayward Senior High School and 15 students from the Beacon School, 7 of whom are now enrolled in the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute's Trade Helpers Apprenticeship Program, where they will receive post-secondary education through the corporate sponsorship of the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Valedictorians Blue Jay Chloe Stewart, Wildcat Jamie Lightbourne, and Jaguar Krista Adderley each received full 4-year scholarships from the Grand Bahama Port Authority for post-secondary education as well. Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Awesome news there, and the graduation ceremony for the Louise McDonald High School in Bimini will be held next week. In other news, it has been some 8 months since the passing of Hurricane Matthew. Since then, many residents who were devastated by the Category 4 storm have been in the rebuilding process, while others are still in need of assistance. The Ministry for Grand Bahama in the Office of the Prime Minister organized reassessment efforts are at 3 key locations across the island over the past 2 days. Here in the city of Freeport, hundreds turned out at the Calvary Temple location. Megan Shepard reports.
Hundreds of persons turning out for the hurricane reassessment process organized by the Ministry for Grand Bahama in the Office of the Prime Minister. The process took place over 2 days, and NEMA Supplies Officer Tammy Mitchell says this was yet another opportunity to get into the community and find out the needs of persons that qualify for assistance.
Persons who have not yet been assessed, Social Services is also here with us for the past 2 days, and what they're doing is actually starting that file on those persons who are here for the last 2 days to make sure that they have enough information so that they will know when they go to those persons' home where they are and exactly what their needs are.
Now, for those that were previously assessed by Urban Renewal or Social Services but did not receive assistance, Mitchell says that this process allowed the team to update their files. Some persons have also previously received vouchers, and Mitchell notes that those persons do not qualify for further assistance.
Which means that they didn't need to be to this particular meetings for the past 2 days. What it is that they're simply just waiting for the reissuance of the vouchers. So their file is basically complete. It means that they have received assistance. They just simply need to know when they can actually use the vouchers again. And that announcement will be made at a later date.
Island Administrator for the City of Freeport, Preston Cunningham, says that he was shocked that so many persons were still in great need on the island. He says that he cannot confirm an exact date as to when the assistance will be completed, but he understands the urgency of helping those that were affected.
Each time I look in the skies and I see some clouds, my mind goes on these people, roofs still open, water still coming in on them. You know, it has been painful for me, and every effort will be made on my part to ensure that relief gets to the people quickly.
Residents that took part in the reassessment say they were pleased with the process, and they are happy that they will now receive assistance.
I'm just doing an update from my father because, you know, he's a senior citizen now, and he's suffering from Alzheimer's, dementia now. Like I say, and he had some roof damage, and they promised to give us some stuff, and they never did it. So I just double check and then make sure that they fall up on there.
So I've been assessed before. I just came to make sure that my name was on the list, and it was just easy. She pulled it up on the computer from NEMA, and my name is already in the system, and she tell me what else I need to collect from them, and I come back a certain date.
The process is going smoothly. They just ask your name, your address, because what they're going to do is try and find your file, which is the next step for them, and then they promise to give us a call.
The assessment process also took place in East and West Grand Bahama. For ZNS Network News, I'm Megan Shepard.
Thank you, Megan. Stay with us. There's more news right after this break.